September, well, this is FSU weather. Let's get you out the door and check out Docambo Stadium as we go into the overnight hours. We've seen some clouds and showers nearby, but right now partly cloudy and 86 degrees. Those showers I mentioned, they're more hanging out near Valdosta and the Waycross, down the I-75 corridor towards Gainesville. Seeing a couple of airports actually show up near Alachua, and a couple off the coast near Penn City in the East Point. Our fall-like conditions are back, and the wind speeds are going to be nice and cool to keep us comfortable. And tomorrow we're going to be warming up just a little bit, but 87 degrees, 10 mile per hour wind, and mostly sunny skies for tomorrow. So tonight on FSU weather, we're going to be talking about potential tropical cyclone 16 and give you an update on the tropics. We're going to be talking about our bird of the week, and we're going to be finding out what's the difference between a tornado and a landspot.
Hey guys, now that Ryan mentioned it, I do remember the 21st night of September, and that is actually tonight. Did you remember?
I, in fact, remembered, and I played that song in my car about 16 times.
You know, I also played it on my way to my internship as well, so I feel like it's a great day to listen to that song of the day. But, you know, let's talk about the weather now. We have quite a few things going on. We have a bird of the week. I believe it's going to be native to Florida, which is also super cool because we live there.
We do live there. And speaking of Florida, Ryan mentioned that we have a potential tropical cyclone that just formed off of the coast, so we got to watch out for that. Now we're going to pass things off to the wall.
Thank you, Nikki and Joy, of course. So right now in Tallahassee, things are actually looking pretty nice. Right here, we got a live look. It's partly cloudy for the moment. Hopefully we'll actually see a pretty good sunset because it seems like the clouds that were blocking the sun earlier have seemed to move off. So currently it's 87 degrees with a slight breeze from the northeast at 7 miles per hour. And as for current temperatures, for most of the region, we're looking at right under 90. So Crawfordville at 88, Tallahassee at 86. Here down in the Apalachicola region, it's been a little bit cooler since they've had some thunderstorms. So the environment cooled a little bit because of that. And as for dew points, most of the region is looking at dew points in the upper 60s and lower 70s, so still a little bit muggy. And as for the heat index, luckily nothing like we've seen the past few weeks. Most of the heat index values are in the mid 90s to upper 80s, so it's not too oppressive at the moment. As for our temperature almanac for the day, today's high was 92, so it's just above average, as well as our low 73, just above average. Luckily, nothing close to those record high temperatures of 99 that we had in 1925 and the low of 50 in 1981. So it was, for the most part, just above average for the day. And as for our current radar, as I said earlier, most of the rain in our region of the Big Bend has been here close to the coast in the Apalachicola region near Port St. Joe and those beaches in that area, which is why they were cooler temperatures. And for our future radar, we're going to see some scattered showers maybe here and there, a little bit to our east, but for the most part, we're going to stay a little mostly dry until tomorrow, maybe some passing clouds as well. And for tonight's forecast, temperatures should be very, very nice in the upper 60s and lower 70s, Tallahassee at 71, and as you go a little bit farther north in Bainbridge and Quincy at 67. And for tomorrow's forecast, temperatures should be very reminiscent of today, mostly in the mid to upper 80s, Tallahassee here having the highest temperature at 88, possibly due to their urban heat island that we experience. And for our daily planner for tomorrow, at 6 a.m. starting nice and cool at 69 degrees and heating up to the mid 80s, and very low chances of rain, maybe 10%, and it's going to be just some slight clouds. So Nikki, what do you have to tell us about Florida?
You know, what do I have to tell you about Florida? It's pretty hot here, but I feel like we already knew that. Let's take a look at some of the places around here. Tampa got some pretty clouds out. Miami's looking a little iffy. Panama City Beach might be experiencing some rain right now. Those are some pretty dark clouds. And Orlando has a beautiful blue sky. I wish I was there right now. It looks pretty nice, actually. Right now, we're getting some rain in the Miami and Fort Myers area down in South Florida, but Key West is nice and sunny and warm, as it always is, I feel. 81 degrees in Orlando. I don't know if you guys heard, but there was actually a bear on the loose at Disney World this week, so maybe avoid that area, you know what I mean? And as we go farther up, it cools off a little bit when we get to Gainesville, 77 degrees if you're a Gator. You're probably having a great day right now. 87 here in Tallahassee. I was pretty sweaty on my walk to class today, and I bet a lot of you are feeling that. Speaking of that, the dew points, they're pretty high, pretty muggy outside, so it kind of adds up. 68 in Tallahassee, 74 in Gainesville, 76 in Key West, very muggy down there. You know, it's gonna be a lot. Make sure you're drinking water throughout the day. Right now, our satellite and radar are showing that there's quite a bit of rain that's coming towards Florida. Some of it's going on in South Florida right now, and even up towards Jacksonville. So make sure that if you're going out, you're careful when you're driving and you're wearing a rain jacket or you have an umbrella with you. Over the next 72 hours, we're getting quite a bit of rain, especially in the Tampa and South Florida areas, a little bit more there in comparison to the rest of Florida. But, you know, it seems like it might be a little bit wet everywhere. Right now in Miami, pretty hot week, 87 on Friday, and then as we go into the weekend, we're probably going to be seeing some rain, so as I said, make sure you're always prepared for the rain. Tampa, 90 degrees on Friday. It's going to be a scorcher for the people that go to USF or just live in the Tampa area. Make sure that you're drinking that water, putting on that sunscreen when you go outside because the sun's going to be out. It doesn't seem like there's going to be as much rain as there is in South Florida. Orlando, if you're planning on going to the parks this weekend, or if you go to UCF and you want to go do some homework outside, make sure you know, it's still pretty hot there as well. It's a common theme that we're seeing today. In Jacksonville, 85, 86, 89, hot, not too much rain as well, so you should be in the clear. And as we head towards the Panhandle, if you want to go to Panama City or to the beach somewhere, it's a great weekend for that. It should be nice and warm and sunny. Tonight, it's going to be 69 degrees here in Tallahassee, and as we go a little bit farther south, it's going to be warmer, 75 in Miami, 80 in Key West. But as we head towards Jacksonville and Gainesville, it should be a little bit cooler as well. And tomorrow, again, just another hot day. But let's zoom out and look at the rest of the Southeast with Ryan.
Thank you, Nikki. You brought up that bear that was found in Orlando, and I just want to say, he was just looking for a Country Bear Jamboree. He wasn't like trying to harm anyone. He heard some of his friends were around and wanted to check it out. Some friends might be down in Miami where grayer skies, some showers and storms have passed through. Atlanta, you're looking nice and clear, 81 degrees right now. And Tampa also looking clear. Up in Clemson, where we're going to be playing some football this weekend, nice and comfortable, 77 degrees. And I know the game day forecast is looking pretty good as well. Taking a look across the Southeast, Florida, we're on the warmer side of things. Orlando, you've seen some showers and storms move through this afternoon. That's kept you on the cooler side. Up in Charleston, 76 degrees. Atlanta staying at 79 degrees. And then as we work our way into Shreveport and Little Rock, we're getting pretty hot, 91, 95 degrees in both those cities. Plenty of sunshine if you're living near Jackson. And then New Orleans also staying in the 90s for temperatures. And the dew point wise, most of the Southeast is sitting in a more moist pattern. 55 degrees being that dew point temperature up in Charlotte, so a little bit of relief. But then as we work our way into Florida, that humidity just picks itself right back up and again gives us that uncomfortable feeling. Wind speed, for the most part, we're seeing calm. Jacksonville about 14 miles per hour, Shreveport and Jackson also seeing about 10 miles per hour. Taking a look at the radar and the humidity, we can see where that kind of dew point correlates with the humidity, and then also where the rainfall is occurring. We saw a lot down the Florida Panhandle and up in the South Florida, and then some showers and storms working their way through Oklahoma. A couple of them might get severe, and just kind of want to stay weather aware as we go into the afternoon and evening if you're out in those parts. But right now our heat index is kind of what's keeping it really warm, especially in Shreveport, New Orleans, Jackson. You're nearing 100 degrees with your dew point. So taking a look at the next 48 hours, I'll step off over here and you can see potential tropical cyclone that's going to be working its way into the Carolinas over the next couple of days. That's what's going to be bringing a lot of the rainfall as we get into the weekend into the Carolinas and up the eastern seaboard. Taking a look through the rest of the Southeast, so most of us are going to be staying on the drier side of things as we work into the weekend. And then again, potential tropical cyclone 16 just making landfall in the Carolinas. So tonight, for most of the Southeast, we're going to be staying comfortable. We're going to be staying dry. 60s up in Georgia and Alabama, and then 70s down in Florida. And tomorrow, it's going to be kind of a rinse and repeat of today. and maybe some rain showers starting to work their way out of the area. But for more on potential tropical cyclone 16 and tropics as a whole, here's Nico.
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, the tropics, September is peak hurricane season, so right now the tropics are once again heating up. And actually, an interesting fact, Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico 6 years ago today. So that's a grim reminder that these storms can come up at any time and be very, very strong, as it was for Maria in Puerto Rico. So taking a current look at the tropics, we've got Nigel up here in the North Atlantic. It seems like to be moving out and weakening, while we have potential tropical cyclone 16 that seems like it's going to affect the eastern seaboard of the United States, and then we have this area of interest out right off of Africa. And zooming into that area of interest, so there's a 2-day probability of 40% chance of formation, while the 7-day probability of formation has an 80% chance. But the models seem to show that it's going to make a turn to the north before it hits the Lesser Antilles. So for now, we do not see an immediate threat to any of the islands in the Caribbean. Now, taking a closer look at potential tropical cyclone 16, it's forecasted to strengthen into a tropical storm right before it makes landfall somewhere between North Carolina and going into Virginia before it once again weakens as it heads out back into the mid-Atlantic. But you can expect tropical storm force conditions as soon as tomorrow in the South Carolina and North Carolina regions, and then deeper into the mid-Atlantic in Virginia. You should expect conditions by early Saturday. And the spaghetti models, there's mostly agreement that it's going to go towards North Carolina. So people out in the Cape Hatteras region, out in the Norfolk region of Virginia, are the ones who should pay most attention to this storm, as they are the ones that are going to see some stronger winds and storm surge, which is the biggest threat with this system. As for Hurricane Nigel, it's going to be weakening and heading off into the colder waters of the North Atlantic, and it doesn't seem to have too much effect. Maybe Iceland will see some sort of rain and stronger tropical storm winds. And as you can see from the satellite, from the water vapor imagery, all the water vapor is going to be going onto North America with 16, and Nigel heading off back into Europe. And Nigel's going to weaken since the waters are cooler, but potential tropical cyclone 16 has warmer waters to work with, so it is expected to strengthen before making landfall. And right now, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia are under a warning, a tropical storm warning. So some hurricane season advice as we go on this season. Like I said, we're still in peak hurricane season, so please keep your hurricane readiness, preparedness kits. And now I'm going to pass it off to Nikki and Joy. So what is the weather today?
All right.
Weather what?
Weather what?
Weather what? So what are we going to talk about in our weather what today? It may be something you have never heard of, because most of us just learn about this phenomenon today.
Yep, today we're talking about land spouts, not to be confused with a water spout, which is something that we've probably heard of or seen before, but a land spout is different.
Yeah, a land spout is associated from the ground up. The rotation occurs on the ground rather than a tornado where the rotation occurs above in the clouds in storms.
Yeah, the way I like to think of it is that since it's called a land spout, it starts on the land, and tornadoes, just the opposite, starts from the top to the bottom.
Exactly. And they are typically observed beneath cumulonimbus or towering cumulus clouds, so they do form with developing or rapidly intensifying thunderstorms.
Yep, and it's basically, as I said, basically the same as a water spout, but it's a land spout, so there's no water.
Indeed. And so here's a photo of a land spout in Rush, Kansas on September 19th, 2023. So this just happened the other day. And we had a strong isolated thunderstorm that caused this land spout to form in Kansas.
Yeah, I also heard that there was some hail reported with that storm, so it must have been a little bit of a crazy time, but look at that awesome picture that was captured during that event.
Yeah, it is looking really sick. And usually we don't see land spouts in the Great Plains, but we do see them a lot in eastern Colorado.
Ooh, yep, and there's a picture right there just showing how they're formed. As you can see, the land spout starts from the bottom with that rotation, and the tornado's rotation starts from the top.
Right, and so tornadoes are associated with rotating updrafts, which is not seen with the land spouts, as again, they do start at the land, and you will have a non-supercell thunderstorm associated with those land spouts.
Yep, and while land spouts are weaker, they can have winds up to around 50 miles an hour, and they can be as strong as an EF2 tornado. But most of the time, they're weaker and won't cause as much damage, if any.
Right. And just because they start on the ground doesn't mean that they aren't as dangerous. As Nikki said, EF2 tornadoes they can be deadly. In Colorado, they used to have a lot of land spout outbreaks, and they wouldn't take them seriously. But once they saw the damage that it caused, it is in fact pretty dangerous.
Yep, so what do you do if there's a land spout near you? You should be seeking shelter just like any other severe weather event. Make sure that you're hiding away from windows or in a basement or interior room.
Right, and make sure to stay up to date with the National Weather Service updates and local officials. And fun fact, land spouts are called land spouts because someone saw one and thought that it was just a weak Florida Keys waterspout, but just over land. So thought that was a little funny.
All right, now we're going to see what's going on around the rest of the country with Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, Joy and Nikki. Let's start out with the national in land spout country. Colorado, 81 degrees. New Mexico, 82 degrees. Clear skies right now, so no land spouts expected tonight. And then a couple cool spots, Billings, Montana, Salt Lake City, Utah. You guys are seeing in the 50s. Up in Seattle, 67 degrees. And along the California coastline, seeing in the 70s with clearing skies. Kansas City, you're a little bit cloudy, 83 degrees. And as we work our way into the Great Lakes, 70s and 80s across the board. And then Boston tonight, seeing at 66 degrees. Nation's capital, seeing at 77 degrees. And in Texas, we're just hot and humid. Take a look in San Antonio, where dew points are 67, same with New Orleans. And then Florida, that big green thumb kind of comes back into play. That rust color indicates more comfortable dew points and even some spots that might need a little bit of chapstick to keep your lips from becoming chapped. Drought monitor, we looked at this yesterday, and we got a little bit of relief from the showers and storms that passed through during the day today, but we're still looking into Louisiana, Mississippi, all the way out into Dallas, and up into Oklahoma. We're dealing with drought conditions, and definitely, if you're burning a fire or something, don't want to create a wildfire or something like that. And then we're also seeing some of the drought extend into Minnesota and Iowa. But good news, there is some rain on the way, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Let's take a look at the rainfall forecast for the next couple of days. Like I said, Dakotas, into Minnesota and Iowa, you guys are going to start to see some rainfall, as well as some of our friends over in Oklahoma and into Missouri and Arkansas. You guys are also seeing some of the rainfall. And we brought up the potential tropical cyclone 16 that could become a tropical storm. And let's see where kind of the rainfall is expected with that. We're going to be keeping our eye near the coastal areas of North Carolina, as well as into Virginia and the nation's capital. That's going to be seeing kind of the brunt force of the rainfall, possibly 6 to 7 inches of rain in some spots. So definitely might be weather aware if you're along the coastline of the East Coast. Temperature-wise, for the most part, the heartland into the Great Lakes region, you guys will be above average the next few days. And then the western part is going to be more close to average or below average. So we brought up those storms that are going to be moving through the heartland the next few days, Dallas, and then into Nebraska and Kansas. You guys are going to be dealing with possibly a slight risk of some severe storms. And by tomorrow, that risk is going to move up into the Dakotas, South Dakota, into Nebraska. You guys are going to be seeing that slight risk. And then as we move into day 2 rather, with potential tropical cyclone 16 making landfall, we're also going to be keeping an eye on Raleigh and then into coastal areas of North Carolina. Day 3, like I mentioned, now we're going to be shifting that threat further to the east. We're going to see all the way from Oklahoma up into the Dakotas dealing with some of these strong severe thunderstorms. And then tonight's temperatures, we're seeing nice and comfortable, most of us clearing out. And then tomorrow, a few rain showers across the U.S., but for the most part, we're seeing nice and comfortable 70s to 80s through most of the U.S. Nico?
Yeah, so on today's segment for Bird of the Week, it's one of my personal favorite birds. It is the Florida scrub jay, which should pop up any second now. There we go. The Florida scrub jay is this week's Bird of the Week, and one of the cool facts about the Florida scrub jay is it is the only species of bird that is endemic to Florida, meaning it is only found here in Florida, nowhere else in the entire world, which is why I think it should be the state bird of Florida, unlike the mockingbird, which is found everywhere else, but that's a different conversation. Florida scrub jays are dependent on the scrub ecosystem found mostly in central Florida, in these old ancient sand dunes that were once the coastal dunes of previous Florida. And so these environments are actually endangered, which is why this Florida scrub jay itself is also endangered. And so current conditions for where the scrub jay lives, one of the places is Blue Springs, Florida. Right now there's actually scattered thunderstorms, and it's 81 degrees with a slight breeze of 10 miles per hour. And you can see today at Blue Springs, it was really bang average, 85 high, 73 low, pretty much average, nothing like those record temperatures from about 100 years ago. As for current temperatures, zooming into Volusia County and Seminole County, temperatures in the lower 80s to upper 70s. And as you can see, there were some scattered thunderstorms all around, just passing through. Nothing too severe, just some slight rain for the most part. And for the future radar for tonight into tomorrow, we might have some scattered showers and clouds come around once in a while, but nothing severe, just very, very light for the time being. And as for our 4-day forecast for the Florida scrub jay, in Blue Springs is going to be relatively nice with temperatures topping out just around 88 on Sunday and 89 on Monday, with some rain, with higher rain chances on Monday at 40%. But most of the weekend should actually be pretty nice if you guys are wanting to cool off. Going to Blue Springs is actually an amazing place to go. Water temperatures always year-round 70 degrees, so it's really nice to go swim in the springs and actually go bird watching if you want to see the Florida scrub jay. So Nikki, how is life?
Life is great, and if you have a great lifestyle, we should be enjoying this lifestyle segment. Looking over here, Panama City is looking pretty rainy, but Lake Bradford looks beautiful. If you went to the Res today, it probably is an excellent day to go get out on that kayak. St. George Island is also looking beautiful, and if you're playing some IM sports tonight, like IM soccer or something else like that, it should be a great night to get that practice in and play those sports. Right now in Tallahassee, it's 86 degrees, and in Thomasville, as we go further north, it gets a little bit cooler, 84, but as you can see in Bainbridge is 86, so basically mid to high 80s all around, and even towards the coast, it's 88 degrees in St. Mark's and Crawfordville, which is a little too hot for my liking, especially since the official start of fall is this weekend, which I personally just don't believe, even though it is fact. Current dew points, you know, it's always pretty muggy in Florida. 76 dew point in Monticello, 61 in Donaldsonville, a little bit better if you go a little farther north, but still it's very humid everywhere you go. If you want to look at the stars tonight, the sky should be pretty clear. Our viewing conditions are good for that waxing crescent tonight. So if you are into the stars, it is a great day to be looking up at the sky. If you're going somewhere in a plane, it should be all good leaving out of Tallahassee, no delays. And the rest of the country looks pretty similar until you get to Orlando. There's some rain going on down there, so your flight might be delayed a little bit coming out or in. So just make sure you're watching that, especially if you have a connecting flight somewhere. Tomorrow in Tallahassee is going to be 87 degrees, another hot, hot day. The sun's going to be out. Make sure you're putting on that sunscreen. Maybe have some plans inside. There's a lot of things to do here. You can always find something cool to do depending on what kind of weather that you like. If you're going to be walking your little pup, get that little lazy pup out of bed and take it on a walk. It's going to be 69 degrees in the morning, so if you like a little bit of a cooler walk, you got to wake up a little bit earlier because by the time 11 a.m. comes, it's going to be pretty warm. If you're going to be swimming at your pool, maybe at your apartment complex with your friends, it's going to be a nice day to do so. If you want to get that tan, maybe go out a little later in the afternoon. It's probably going to be better chance, pretty nice to take a little dip. Same thing goes for the beach. If you want to take a little morning stroll, it's going to be 69 degrees when you wake up. But of course, as the sun comes out, it'll get a little bit warmer, but still a great day. If you're going to the bars, if you're going to Township or Madso in College Town, tonight it's a great day, 80 degrees, especially when there's no sun. It'll be really nice, maybe a little bit of a breeze as well, so it should be really nice. And if you're going anywhere for the game this weekend to watch, we'll be playing at Clemson. It'll be great, 89 degrees. So maybe if you're going to the tailgates and stuff, make sure that you're staying hydrated. Now we're going to take one last look at the local with Joy.
Thanks, Nikki. So my graphic decided to do a little funny today, but the res is looking beautiful. As Nikki said, if you went to the res today, you definitely took advantage of that fantastic weather in our area. With a temperature of 87 right now and partly cloudy, it is still a great day to go out, go for a walk and explore nature. And even if you're not in Tallahassee and you're still in the Big Bend, we have some beautiful, comfortable conditions, although a little warm in my opinion, minus the fact that there are some storms down near the coast. 81 Apalachicola, more chill there because of those storms, but other than that, we have high 80s and even low 90s in the area. And here in Tallahassee, we have a 7-mile-per-hour wind. That should help cool us off a little bit from those scorching temperatures, but again, still a nice and comfortable day. If you are going up more north, you will have some higher wind speeds. Tonight, we are experiencing beautiful fall conditions, although not as cold as I would like it to be. 71 degrees in Tallahassee and pretty consistent temperatures again around the Big Bend region. We have high 60s and low 70s, so again, another beautiful night to go out, maybe walk around College Town, go to the bars with your friends, take advantage of our beautiful days that we have here. And if you want to take advantage of tomorrow, you definitely can, because we don't really have any showers in our area. We will have a couple of clouds, which would hopefully keep us pretty cool from that scorching sun. But other than that, perfect day. Take advantage and go to the beach. I'm definitely going to be going to the beach, so I hope I see you there. If you need some help planning your day, here's a little hint. Tomorrow, again, beautiful. We will have some pretty warm temperatures, 82, but not as warm as it was today. And in the morning, 69, a lovely hour to walk your dog. Your dog will appreciate the fact that it is not scorching hot outside. Today we have women's soccer. It is at Syracuse in New York. It is at 7 p.m. today, so go Noles. And beautiful temperatures to go out and enjoy that game. 57 at 9 p.m. Fantastic weather. I wish I could be there to support them and experience those fall-like temperatures. But if you are planning on staying in the area, you will experience some showers over the weekend, but still pretty nice temperatures that do resemble fall, unlike here in Tallahassee. We have a volleyball game tomorrow at Blacksburg, Virginia, with some also pretty comfortable temperatures. It will dip down to 62 in the evening there, so they will not have any worries because they will be playing indoors, which is great considering that Saturday they have a 60% chance of rain. So good thing again that they are playing indoors, but if you're staying in the area, it will be lovely. And if you are in Austin, Texas for the men's tennis, watch out for that 100 degrees, 99 degrees, and 98 degrees. Pretty high temperatures over there in Austin, Texas. And once again, for our weekday planner, beautiful lows, some pretty high temperatures in the day. But other than that, a lovely weekend here in Tallahassee. Now we're going to close things off at the desk.
Thank you so much, Joy. Yeah, the forecast looks absolutely gorgeous. Definitely beautiful conditions tonight with lows in the 70s and 60s. So definitely, I think I might go out for a midnight stroll, you know? Definitely a night to remember. What about you, Nikki? Will you remember the night, September 21st?
I definitely will. It is an awesome night. We had an awesome show, so I'll remember this September 21st for the rest of my life. Every year, I will be reminded of it.
Okay. What are your plans for this weekend with these beautiful conditions that we have?
This weekend, I'm not completely sure yet. I think I might go to Township with my friends and maybe go watch the game with my friends somewhere as well.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I'll do, but I'm an outdoorsy person, so I think I'll definitely do something outside, maybe go play tennis, soccer, of that sort. I heard you're doing I Am Soccer this week.
Oh yeah, I Am Soccer, the American Meteorological Society has a team, and we're doing pretty good. Our first game, just a warm-up game. Next week, we're going to come back better than ever.
Sure, I'd like to get a bit of that action. So if you guys want to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSUweather.
Like us on facebook.com/FSUweather.
And if you guys want to watch our live streams on YouTube at youtube.com/FSUweather.
Yeah, share it with your friends. And make sure to follow us on Instagram. This week we've been posting about our team leaders for the year.
And also don't forget to follow us on TikTok, managed by yours truly, Nikki right here. So there's so many ways you guys can follow us. So I'm student meteorologist Nicholas Porcelli.
And I'm student meteorologist Nikki Kanakis. Have a great evening.